Welcome to James Hates Everything for Thursday, June 12th, 2025. And today we are talking all things GRS Build-a-cade. So let's get into it. All right, welcome back, as I said, and we jumped the gun a little bit from our scheduled time simply because we're still trying to dial in the sweet spot from when Yo Retro ends, because I want to give them time to finish up their show before we go live. So maybe we'll go, last week we did 8:15, so maybe I'll go back to 8:15. That seems to be a good spot to start. So glad people popped in early to join us. And for those who came in, will be coming in late because the schedule started a little bit early tonight. Apologies. Good thing you can rewind and catch us from the beginning. But before we jump in, I want to say hello to everyone who's dropped by. The Be Me was here bright and early. Thanks for dropping by. And he's looking forward for the 26-inch FU. Brooklyn Menace is in the house. Cheers, my friend. J Rod is here. It says FU. He's totally excited. My cock hurts. Says FU to me. Cornercade is here, and as always, he wants to go. Still won't tell anybody where he's going. We've got Jason S in the house. Sergeant is here, and King Ed AV. He says FU. Yes, indeed. F me, F us all, because today we are talking all about the GRS Build-a-cade FU Kickstarter. Of course, guys, I know you are well aware that this went, the pre-launch site went up Friday, or at least, or was it Thursday or Friday? I'm lost at this point. I believe it was on Friday. Obviously, Glenn talked a lot about it on his show. So super exciting. And I'm just checking here the dates because I do have those. Yeah, so it was definitely Friday. So that's great that he made the announcement, and we're almost a full week past that. And so for those that missed it, I do want to take an opportunity just to go quickly through this because I know this has been covered on a lot of channels. And so I know most of you are super familiar with the details of the Kickstarter itself. So we're going to go quickly through that. Then we're going to talk beyond the Kickstarter. We're going to talk about the capabilities of this system. What games come with it? What games can you quickly and easily add? And then what other games and systems will the Build-a-cade FU support? So if you want to know what you're getting for your money, we are going to cover that tonight. And of course, we have, here is the Kickstarter pre-launch site itself. So you guys, I will drop the link to that in the chat here, so that just in case you missed it, because this is going to go live again. The Kickstarter starts on June 25th. If I missed that, if I didn't say that, that is when this goes live. Be sure to check out Bill's Retro Gaming Show. I believe he plans on having Glenn on for the launch. And so the countdown to the go live, it should be very exciting. We can all watch together as the first rash of sales come in, hopefully. So should be very fun. We know with the obviously the Wonderland Pinball Kickstarter, what a blast that was. And it looks like Glenn did drop by. Thanks for dropping in. And it is almost time. We got the Cincinnati Kid is here, and JJ is here, and yep, James Hates Anything. Anytime between 8 and 8:30 works for James. So there you go. Cami is here. Thanks for dropping by. Our Burger also here. And so, like I said, I'm going to go through this quickly. I'm not going to delve too much on about these because I know you guys have seen this to death, but this is for the benefit of those who haven't. So we have, of course, the Build-a-cade FU is 68 inches tall. This is basically a full-size machine made with all the care and love that we know Glenn and GRS are known for. You've got the 24 inches wide, 23.7 inches depth there. You got the fully working coin door, the rotating. So there's going to be two options. We'll talk about these coming up, but the base option comes with that auto rotating 19-inch screen, which is super cool. So you can go from vertical to horizontal and back whenever you want in order to play your games. It comes with the ultra versatile control deck that has all those controls to basically play the vast majority of any game you could possibly want to play. Comes standard on the system. And so we'll just go fly through this. I'll let you guys read that in the link if you want to delve into the specifics. There's your functional commercial coin door. It's got the storage compartment because, as I said, it comes with that control panel, but you do have options to swap out control panels, and there is storage for some of those. And we mentioned the 19-inch rotating screen. You also have a 26-inch screen option, which you can rotate manually, meaning you have to take it out, turn it, stick it back in. But you have this huge 26-inch screen for those that think size matters. You also have the Glintendo hood option. So this is another feature that I know you guys are fully aware of in the chat, but this converts it from a kind of standard looking arcade into the Glintendo or Nintendo style cab, so that you can then customize the art on this. You can customize those marquees and get a Nintendo, like a Donkey Kong, a Popeye, whatever kind of style you want to match your hopes, dreams, and wishes. We've got drawers for keyboards, mice. Maybe you want to stick some remote controls in there to control LED lighting. Maybe you want to send in light guns in there. You name it, you can stick it in there as long as it fits within the drawer, I guess. Of course, it is powered by the GRS Viper Venom. So, it's got the, what is it? The Rock 3588 chipset on there. So it's a powerful beast capable of running lots of fun systems, complicated systems, 3D systems like the N64, things like that. You can all rock out on here. It comes with the Arcade OS, and we'll talk more about that. It's got tons of features built into Arcade, and one of the, of course, most interesting one is for a lot of systems. If you have the rights to a game, you can actually just auto download it. No hunting on those strange archives out on the internet to find the game you might want to play. You've got the 4 to 8 way restrictor gates. So those are fully integrated. So you can change those up to match the game. Want to play Pac-Man, then jump over to Street Fighter 2. You can do that with little to no effort and have the right controls. Of course, here you can see, you can't really see my mouse, I don't think, for some reason. But on this little picture here with the swappable design, it's all about those different decks, and we'll go more into that. So let's rotate right in to pricing. All right, for the first 100, the super early bird, you get a nice big 16% discount. Of course, you'll get the standard system with that 19-inch auto rotating monitor. You get the standard control panel with all those different controls for $999, so just under $1,000. And GRS Glenn is throwing in a Build-a-cade Mini, so you can build a small version of the big version that you have in your arcade. And if you want to go with the 26-inch instead of that 19-inch rotating screen, that's going to run you $1,200. You get the same fun little add-on. Again, those are, I believe, the first 100 get to take advantage of those. I don't know. Glenn's in the chat, I think. I don't know. I assume that's 100 on each of those, but maybe it's 100 total. Maybe he can throw that out and let us know for sure. Then you have the other early bird. So once those super early birds are gone, we're going to roll into the next one. So then the price on the 19-inch automatic goes up to 1,200, which is still a huge bargain. Yes, 100 each. So thank you, Glenn, for clarifying. I thought that was the case, but I didn't want to speak incorrectly. And then, of course, the 26-inch goes up to $1,400. So get in that super early bird, you're saving yourself $200. It's pretty significant savings to get in here at the super early bird, but even at the regular early bird, it's still a great deal for all that you are getting on this giant system. Of course, shipping is extra. And if you're looking at the standard system, these standard packages, I believe Glenn has estimated, again, all we can do right now is estimate, is it's going to be around $200 to ship the standard package. And I say standard package because now we're getting into the beefy mega extreme fun packs. Whoops, I am on the wrong screen. Here we go. Let's go over here. Get this where I can get this. Oh, one back. So the mega pack, $17.99, would get the 19-inch rotating screen. So for $1,800, you're going to get that standard Build-a-cade FU with that auto rotating screen. Of course, the included control panel, but you're also going to get all kinds of other goodies. You're getting the Glintendo hood. You're getting a dual wheel control panel, Glenn's patented flight yoke control panel for Star Wars, you name it, other driving games. You get the 3-inch trackball control panel. So if you want to play some Centipede or Crystal Castles, you get the Akari control panel in the Akari Warriors layout. So rotary control sticks. You want to play some, oh my gosh, heavy barrel, Akari 1, Akari 3, you're locked down. You got options. You got, of course, the Tron, the flight stick control panel, but obviously that's the Tron stick and the spinner there. And of course, a Build-a-cade 1/6 scale version. You want to jump up to the 26, it's same package, and it's going to run you $19.99 for that super duper all you can eat package right there, which is pretty awesome. Like, that is a hell of a deal to get the 26-inch screen, to get the Build-a-cade FU. You're getting what, 6 total control panels, the Donkey Kong hood, and the Build-a-cade 1/6 scale. That is highway rock. I mean, it is a deal. You are stealing from Glenn in this deal, in my opinion. That is a bargain. So with all of that stuff you're getting, I don't know how he can price that at that, but man, it's a good looking offer. As we go down and you look at the price of each one of these control panels individually, if you want to add it, this $19.99 deal and this $17.99 deal are absolutely huge bargains. So just pretty crazy in my opinion. So then you run to the super mega. There you go. Glenn's living in a barrel. So as a Broncos fan, I appreciate that, because Barrel Man, I'm a big fan of Barrel Man. And so, if you live in a barrel like he did, hats off to you. The super mega, and this must be French for cabinet, and cabiente for 2 is includes, of course, both the 19-inch auto rotating and the 26-inch with the Glintendo hood. So you can have both options, both styles, with the 2 different screens for $2,200. So quickly going to fill out your arcade with these full-size cabs. So another great option, right? That's a way to capture those super early bird discounts past the early bird, because you can buy two for yourself, go in with a buddy, do what you need to there to lock those in. And let's go back down now. Let's talk about the optional stuff, the stuff you can add. Let's see, just get the one cab and you want to add some control panels to that, but you don't necessarily want to go all in on the super mega bundles where you can get the individual control panels. So you want that Akari rotary stick control panel, $150. And let me tell you, that's a bargain straight out. I don't again, like that's cheaper than buying the sticks individually and kind of doing your own control deck. And trust me, because I have an Akari Warriors over there where I did that. So this is that's a hell of a deal. And then you've got, of course, the 130 for the flight stick version, the trackball version, 250 for the yoke version, 150 for the dual wheel, and then 120 for the hood. So mix and match your parts as you want. Build it over time. You don't have to go all in, all up front. You can fund your way as fun, or build your way as funds become available. So that's the options. That's the package. Again, I know most of you have seen that. I wanted to make sure we went through that just for those who haven't seen it yet. And so I tried to blow through those quickly, and I appreciate all the comments as they came in. Jason S is asking, can you play Afterburner? Or you could play Afterburner with that Tron stick, and that is correct. And it'd be interesting to map how you would map the throttle part of Afterburner, but sure you can get that in there one way or the other using some of the extra buttons and things that are applied. Billy Wood says, howdy folks, hope you're all doing well. And J Rod says, go all in, balls deep. Yes, you can definitely play Wacko, but if you can figure out how to play that game, then more power to you, because I still can't figure it out no matter how many times I try it. It's a cool looking cab. It's an odd game. All right, let's talk about timelines. So we mentioned June 25 is when the Kickstarter will launch. And then you have the campaign ending in August. So you'll have a little over a month basically to get that going. And that's when production will go in. And then production will run through November. Then freight shipping will leave China, wherever, in January, land sometime between February and March for delivery. So that's your timeline. That's how long you have to look out for from the launch of the Kickstarter to delivery. So very cool. All up front, you know what's coming, you know when it's coming, you know where it's coming. And of course, one of the big things, Glenn has done with this project is to make sure that third party companies, which this home arcade space is known for, right? Doing mods, doing things like Joe Sabo's, like G.I. Joel, like Buy Stuff Arcades, like 99 Lives, like all these guys have the ability to make their own control panels, to make their own mods and modifications to this system. So you will have all kinds of fun. So want need artwork, like most of us will, go out to Joe Sabo's. He's already got the designs in place. He knows what the size and shapes are. You can get your marquees, you can get your art. But he won't be the only one, right? There'll be lots of people making stuff for this. So always a big fan when, the people in the space go out, do their own thing, start their own companies. And when other companies like GRS go out and support those guys and build platforms that they can build on and try to bring them into the fold and work together instead of working against each other. Always great to see that stuff going on. Video Game Vegas says, I just want to know when a Whack-A-Mole control panel will come out. So many great control games, so many choices. And Glenn says, hey, it's doable on his system. Somebody could make a Whack-A-Mole control panel. And of course he says, I knew it's out there, but a huge Glen mallet would be awesome. Exactly. The Akari deck would be a dream come true for me. Yes, it is. I love me some Akari Warriors, that's for sure. So just to give you some idea, Glenn has posted out here some of the custom skins by Joe Sabos, and these are from his personal collection of the 1/6 scale to give you an idea of the exact kind of things and exactly things you can do on the full size. So there's lots of fun, different cabs, of course. You know, if you look at all these designs, some of the cabs that these other companies are never going to bring to us, you can now do with the Nintendo, the Build-a-cade FU, and all that fun stuff. So very versatile, a design that fits everything. I said in the description of this video, the Build-a-cade FU is really the Swiss Army knife of home arcades, right? Not only can you do the different control panels, which we've seen somebody like Polycade do. They've done different control panels, right? But he's doing that. You've got the auto rotating screen, which I, maybe have done before, but I've never seen it done before. I know we've seen some customs, but I've never seen one necessarily in a product that's for sale. So you've got the auto rotating screen. You've got the gate switchers or restrictors, so you can switch from 4-way to 8-way. Like this thing, and of course the Nintendo hood, so you can convert from a standard arcade style to a Nintendo style cab. You've got the option of switching out the auto rotating screen to a 26-inch screen. You've got USB ports to connect other controls if you need to hook up light guns or whatever. Like it can do basically anything you want it to do, pretty much. Pretty impressive, like all the things you'll be able to do on this thing. So I'm excited for it. And it's pretty damn sweet. OLED side panels, that would be interesting and be pretty darn expensive, but that would get you there. Yeah, so that's one of the things that wasn't, I haven't specifically mentioned, but I know that there is a partner, and I always get the name wrong. So Jason, I know, will put it in there, and Glenwell, who is making a LCD marquee, so you can have a marquee that changes with the games. Again, more of all the best aspects of all the different kind of things we've seen over the years, all brought together in one package that is a pretty damn good price for all you're getting. Again, full size, but it is a Build-a-cade. Can't skip over that. It's a Build-a-cade, so you're gonna have to assemble it, but it'll be so easy. There it is, Pixelcade. Thank you, Meatball. It'll be so easy. Even a caveman can do it. Even Michael B could do it, and that's saying a lot. So I appreciate it. So that's, I guess we got some more here. Here's Mario Brothers, a Punch Out. Midway. Got a Castlevania versus Castlevania. There's that Mario again, just rotating through a bunch of those. So, all right. So, now before I go into all the games and all the game support, I do need to, especially since Glenn is here, I do need to tell you that unfortunately, I did find today, somebody sent this to me this morning, and unfortunately, it looks like somebody may have, let me stop screen sharing here, actually beat Glenn to the punch. And I know what you're saying. Like, what? How could they have done that? Like, it turns out that somebody out here had already pushed out a product very similar to the Build-a-cade FU, and the price is absolutely amazing, guys. I don't know how this missed home arcade, how we didn't talk about this, but this is going to be something that is going to be real competition, I think. And I know Glenn, once he sees this, is going to be rethinking everything, because it is shocking It is absolutely shocking. Of course, we're talking about the Leapfrog Leapster. And as you see here, it does have that rotating screen. So you can play your games in horizontal and vertical, and you can take it on the go. So I know, guys, I know that might um, throw a wrench in your plans, but hopefully not too much. Hopefully, you guys can hold back from the Leapster Ultra with that rotating screen. I know it's going to be hard, but hopefully, uh, that's not too big of a threat to the GRS Build-a-cade FU. Let's see here. Now, enough of the horsing around. Let's see. What are we doing here? All right. All right. So, wanted to talk about the games, right? We want to talk about not just the hardware, not just the rock chip that's on here and the power, not just all the adapters, all the control panels, all the different screen options. Like we could go into that all day long, but you've heard about that. I wanted to spend some time talking about the games because that is why we play these and own these things, right? Is to play the games. So you now know you have all the different screen options, you have all the different control options to play all the different games. So you might be wondering how you play the games and what games are included. Well, you do get uh, one surefire hit, and that is, of course, Robbie Roto. So you get that on there. It is included, come preloaded, ready to go. You get to play your Robbie Roto. I believe there are some other demo games on here out of the gate, but because this system is located with Arcade, you get access to a host of other systems and emulators, right? So it supports tons of stuff, but you don't necessarily have to go through all the work of finding a build. You don't need to go through all the work of hunting down the ROMs for your games. The Arcade OS is going to help you with all of that. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you, because we don't support piracy here, if you own your own games, you own retro games, you own your own arcades, I have a whole host of games sitting over here, stacks of different systems and things like that. If you own a game, maybe you want to load that and play that on your Build-a-cade. Well, because of Arcade, you can go through different libraries, certify that you own the game and you have the legal rights to it, and then download it directly into Arcade. No SD cards, no running from one place to another, no USB cards to transfer the ROMs. You're just getting them right down there, preload them in, and you're off to the races. So let's talk about what systems are supported by that feature, because that's a great feature and it's going to make this easy for the novice. You don't need somebody to go out and create you a build, map all your controls for you. You're not going to have to do a lot of that work because of the Arcade system. And so some of the systems right out of the gate that you will be able to load in here are listed right here, right? So you've got your Sega Master System. You own Sega Master System games, you can go out and bring them in. Of course, MAME. Can't skip over MAME. This is an arcade cabinet. So you'll be able to go out there and get those MAME ROMs, FB Neo ROMs for FB Neo, so other arcade ROMs. You've got Sega Genesis, Sega CD, 32X, Dreamcast. Want to play some Crazy Taxi? Got you covered. Game Gear, You got the Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, Atari ST, the CPC, ColecoVision, Vectrex, of course, PC Engine or TurboGrafx 16, PlayStation Portable, the PSX, Game Boy Color, Nintendo 64, NES, Super NES, Famicom Disk System, and Virtual Boy. These are all the systems that you don't really have to do much of anything other than go through, select the game you want, and download it into the system automatically. So I believe there are probably a few others that work on like so before I see like Kimmy's like, oh, Amiga should be on there, Commodore 64 should be on there. So these are not all the games that are supported. These are the ones where you have libraries that can auto load in for you, right? So when you go through, you can browse the library, grab the game you want, and it'll just download right into the system. But the system, arcade system itself, supports tons of emulators beyond just these, right? Tons, right? So here are some of the ones that I saw mentioned here. You've got the Amiga 1200, 600, the Amiga CD, Amiga CD TV, Amstrad PC, Apple II, Apple II GS. Of course, we talked about Atari 2652. You got Atari 800, Jaguar, Lynx, Cave Story, ColecoVision, all the Commodores, 64, 128, CBM, plus VIC-20. You got the Daphne, which does have, I couldn't find a logo for that, so that's why it's not on the screen, but the Daphne you can download the games for. Dinosaur, Doom, Doom 2, Doom 3, DOS. So you want to play those x86 games, some LucasArts games, some Sierra games, Duke Nukem 3D, Fairchild, Channel F, Family Computer. So that's the disk system, Final Burn, Neo, Flashback, Game Boy, Advance, Game Boy Color, Game & Watch, Lutro, MGT Sam Coupe, MSX, MSX2, MSX Turbo, Mattel, Intellivision, Moonlight, Mr. Boom, NEC, PC, I can read these. Neo Geo, Neo Geo CD, Neo Geo Pocket, Pocket Color, N64 and 64 disk drive, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Entertainment System, Odyssey 2, Open Arena, Open Bore. More on that in the future, I guess. Othello Multivision, PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16, PC Engine CD, TurboGrafx CD, PC FX Palm, Panasonic 3DO, Pictures, Pokemon Mini, Quake 2, Quake 3, Rick Dangerous, Sammy, Atomus Wave, Satellaview, Scum VM, 32X, Sega CDs, Dreamcast, Sega Game Gear, Sega Master System, Mark III, Sega Mega Drive, Genesis, Sega Naomi GD-ROM, Sega SG-1000, Sega Saturn, Sharp X 68000, Sony PlayStation Portable, Spectra Video, Sufami Turbo, Super NES, Super Graphics, TIC-80, Thompson, Usebox, Vectrex, Virtual Boy, Wolfenstein 3D, WonderSwan Color, ZX81, and the ZX Spectrum. So I read through all of those. I didn't know I would do that. But that's the point, right? All of these emulators are supported. So if you have your games and ROMs for these, they will work on the Build-a-cade FU thanks to the arcade system. So you've got the ease of the system with these, and you still have the capability with like many emulator engines to load games for all of these. So when I say one arcade on the thumbnail for this video, we say one cabinet, endless gameplay. That's what we mean, right? You've got a system that not only supports all these games, which you could argue many multicades do, but you have that Swiss Army knife of a system that is going to allow you to drop in the right controls for the right game. It's going to allow you to take the monitor so you're playing it in the right aspect ratio for the game. It's going to allow you to play the stick controls with the 4 or 8 way when you need it for the right game. So this really is an amazing setup. Like I said, it is the Swiss Army knife of arcades. I don't know What else Glenn wanted to stick in there? Because it pretty much has about everything. And what it doesn't have, it's built to allow you and allow third parties to bring those in. So we mentioned light guns before. I can see Geo bring in some kind of rhythm control panel in here so you can play DDR and other rhythm based games on here. There's so many things that you can see other people outside the space or outside of GRS building and adding to this to increase the playability factor. So I am super excited that we're finally getting close to the launch of this. And, I personally hope this is a huge success for Glenn. It's super exciting. And J Rod says open bore. For those who don't know what open bore is, that's Beats of Rage. So it's a think of it like Unity. It's a game engine for beat 'em ups. If you want to make your own kind of retro style beat 'em up, so it's really cool, and a really lot of fun games are built on it. And they have the ability to build games for not just PCs but other systems as well. So you can use it. It's a full, like I said, in game engine for beat 'em up. So it's really cool. And my goal personally is to get a kind of a home arcade open bore system out, game out, which I think would be pretty fun, with the help of AI, of course. But uh, so Jason S says the FU cab looks great, good, even in black, no artwork. Yeah, and that's another. The design obviously is thought out well. So if you don't want to spend money on your own custom artwork, it already looks good. It's gonna match. It's gonna fit in with an arcade right away. Um, you may likely want to at least get a marquee or get one of the pixelcades so you have that rotating marquee. But if you want to go all out, all in, you can do the full art, right? You can go crazy and make that thing look like your dream cab. What's going on, Gamer Fridge? Thanks for dropping by. Chris is here, late to the party. Thanks for dropping by. Devastator, nice to see you. The Swiss Army Cade, yes. And of course, Penny Arcade is back here. I know I missed some of you as we were going on my rant here. Brooklyn Miss says it is more powerful. I hope there are also coming to out current build on the iArcade. Yeah, so very cool, very versatile. Who knows? Maybe as I sit here and think about it, maybe at some point somebody will make like some kind of virtual pinball control deck for this thing. Who knows? Like the options are endless with what you'll be able to add into this thing, which is pretty cool. Video Game Vegas says, though he's not getting an FU, he's celebrating with Glenn and excited to see what people do with them. So glad I get to join in a way with his switcher for my iArcade. Absolutely. Yeah, and that is going to be the neat thing, right? This is like you see all the people who over the last couple years who have been taking their 1/6 scale Build-a-cades and making all these different cabs that we know we're probably never going to see from New Wave Toys or any of the other guys. They've been doing that, and now you're going to be able to do that on a huge scale. And JJ says for pinball, all you'd really need is a pair of buttons on the side to man the flippers. Yeah, maybe a pair of buttons for nudge and the flippers, maybe some maybe some kind of plunger that you could adapt to the control door. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of options there, right? So yeah, look, here we got Virtual Pen, Paperboy, Battle Zone. Think of all those. How cool would it be? I don't even know how it would work, but how cool would it be to have like a silent scope attachment? you know, some of those things, like nobody's ever going to make a full cab for, but maybe they might go in on a control panel for. You see a lot of on AliExpress where you can get those arcade guns that are like kind of the older Operation Wolf or even the T2 where they're mounted, they have all the force feedback and stuff. Man, you could build your own kit for that. You could build your own control panel to attach those kinds of guns and do some of that stuff. And yeah, Glenn says add a shock sensor in there in the control panel. Thumper Squid, I think, nailed it with that one. And Glenn says silent scope with the Glintendo hood. Yep. Lots of fun options, man. You're limited. Like with a device like this, you're only limited by your imagination and your capabilities, or even somebody else's capabilities to put it together, right? To build or add a control panel. Yeah, the railgun shooters. Thanks, J Rod. Appreciate that. So, man, now probably the only thing you can't really do is a claw machine on there, but I'm sure Glenn will figure out a way to turn it into a claw machine too. Maybe you get the hood and you just fill the prizes in between the screen and the hood, and then you can put a little claw mechanism up in the top. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way. Where there's a will. Gamer Fridge says, I confirm the Viper board plays reactor. Great. Uh, excuse me. But yeah, to me, this is all super exciting. I love that we're getting to this point where this is going to go live. I know we've been talking about it now for almost 6 months, towards the end of last year, maybe a little over 6 months. So I'm super happy for Glenn that we're here. It's been an interesting ride with all the tariff nonsense. And so I can't wait to see how this goes. I know I will be watching Bill's retro gaming show for their countdown to the launch, and it should be fun to watch that come in. But Jeeb says, Glenn, are you putting the dimensions of the arcade on paper with the FU so that we can get our art made at a local printer? So we did have the rough dimensions, right? It's 68 inches high, 27. That is on the Kickstarter, so you can link there. But yeah, I mean, if you're saying, Glenn, will you make the artwork or schematics available so that people can use that as a template in Photoshop or whatever to lay out their artwork and send that on? That would make that super easy as well to do that. Yep, Kickstarter is live on June 25th. So tomorrow's Friday the 13th, right? So you got about 12 days before that kicks off. It'll be the Wednesday, 2 weeks from yesterday, basically. So it's going to be a fun night. We might just have bigger problems than Trump's tariff, as anyone has said. Yes, yeah. So trying to avoid some of that, but yes. So for anybody who's missed that, there are apparently some airstrikes or attacks going on between Israel and Iran right now. But we won't dwell on that too much. So hopefully World War III doesn't start. All you can do is laugh, because anything worse. But obviously thoughts and prayers and everything with anybody involved in that. And hopefully they know better than to put our troops and stuff in danger. Thor KC says, I think my dream Build-a-cade would look like a Nintendo cab in reality, but look exactly like a Williams paintball table in virtual reality. Absolutely. That's the dream, right? It says, my Space Ace cabinet, though, if the original iArcade shape, the art is phenomenal. iArcade certainly knew how to pretty up their cabs. Let's see here. Yeah, make sure, you guys, if you're interested, you want to be a part of definitely get in on that early, the super early bird. Make sure you got that notify on so you do not forget. You're going to want to get in there, save that $200, and get ready for all of that fun stuff. Gamer Fridge is sad that Kickstarter doesn't take PayPal, but I bet it takes a bunch of other payment methods. Yes, Mr. Bill is doing that countdown show on the 25th. So on Wednesday, Glenn can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe It's 7 Eastern when it goes live, or is it 8 Eastern when it goes live? 7 Central, 8 Eastern. I don't want to say it wrong. I want to get it right. So if somebody who knows the exact time can drop it in there. And then Bill, of course, will be on earlier. The man formerly known as Filthy Bill. He's all business Bill now. All business Bill. Okay, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Pacific. So that's when it goes live. So I believe Bill is going to go live an hour earlier than that. So make sure you guys join him for that countdown. It'll be a blast. Yes, he's all business Bill. Yeah, here you go. Already requests for that Battle Zone Silent Scope VR multicade hood for the FU. And of course, we've got to have the Paperboy control panel. All those control panels, those unique controls that nobody's ever really going to invest all the time and money to release a full arcade of, and they're hard to find and they're hard to fix. Would be great if people found out a way to recreate some of those for a system like this. It'll just be awesome. I'm struggling to think of, obviously the Battle Zone with the scope. You got periscope, you got silent scope, you've got so many that have those unique controls. Hey, who knows? Maybe the arm wrestling thing will even come out, or maybe a punching thing. Don't break your Build-a-cades, please. But yeah, it's exciting, and I can't wait. I know, like other people said, I can't wait to see what people do with theirs, because it's going to be fun. My dream is like a punch out Nintendo cab kind of a thing. So still all up in the air about how to do some of that stuff, but I love the drawer aspect. I love that you can go out. That's another one with that 26-inch screen. Wouldn't it be great to, get some of those Reaper guns, put them on there, use them with this. Lots of fun options. Jason S says, I like the trackball can change to the color you want. Yeah, skipped right over that. It's a lighted trackball. You can see how lit up these things are here, right? Like, so you like the neon aspect, the LEDs in your game room, the black light kind of stuff. Like, you've got a lot of stuff come straight out in that standard kit. And of course, all the ways you can mod. Want to make put black light T molding on there. That's standard T molding, I believe, right, Glenn? So you can swap out your T molding for any T molding you want to go out and get. Glow in the dark, black light, different colors. Want to put a white one on there for your Nintendo one? The choice is yours. Shotgun Sean says, I tried slipping my pre-order money to Glenn, but he plays fair and is making him wait till the 25th. Well, that's baloney. Yep. Yeah. Glenn confirmed real T molding. That's what I thought. I was pretty sure. So again, this is a real arcade, right? It's a fully functional arcade cabinet with the coin door and all that stuff. So, definitely gonna up the game for a lot of people. Here's a good question, Glenn. How much bigger is the deck compared to the iArcade deck? Sorry, guys. Throat's getting dry. I forget it's a real coin door. I'm not used to that. Indeed. Yeah, it is funny. Like, I think Glenn mentioned this in another thing, or somebody did, about the kind of faux coin doors. I know why, we like them on some of these 3/4 scale calves, just because they make them look a little more realistic. But it is kind of silly, like, because they don't do anything. They're just molded plastic. The reality is, the coin doors themselves, like I know X Arcade sells a fully functioning coin door. It plugs in like any button does to register your coins, and it's $75 retail. So it's really not a huge upgrade if you wanted to get rid of the fake coin doors for your cabs and put in, an actual real one. It's not going to break the bank if you're a modder, but here you're getting one straight out of the gate with the, you can get in there where the shelves are that store the control panels and access where the coin drop and all that stuff is. Steve Thale, thanks for dropping by. And Glenn says the ultimate control panel is about the same size. Brooklyn says he's going to tell his wife he bought it because I needed some more drawer space. Yes, I heard you say that the other day. You got to have more drawer space. So yeah, you don't have to put controllers and light guns and remotes in there. You can put underwear, socks, nerdy arcade t-shirts. It's perfect, right? And you can open it up, and instead of putting control panels in there, you could put your jeans, put your khakis, maybe put some shoes in there. It is the perfect dresser if you need the space, and it's functional, right? It's functional furniture. Yeah, got to keep your underoos in there. I assume, Jason, you're still wearing the original ones from when you were a kid, because that will be critical to the look. But so I wanted to focus tonight on Glenn's, because this is, like I said, we're ramping right up to it, and it's going to launch soon, just barely over a week. And I'm super excited. I hope you're excited. I wish Glenn all the success in the world on this. It's a big milestone, a full cab, graduating from the control panels to a full up complete system. And I hope it's, like I said, a huge success. And I know a lot of people are excited about it. They've been anticipating the release of this for a long, long time. And now we're just a little over a week away. It's so exciting. So that's really all I have tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank Glenn for dropping by and answering some of the questions. Thank, like I said, everybody for being here, participating in the chat, letting us know your thoughts, asking your questions. And you know how we do here. So until next time, have fun.